Hi guys, I don't know if it's Trump or if it's checks that are bouncing, but Nigel Farage has changed his tune on Vladimir Putin, suggesting that if he was Prime Minister, he would instruct the military to shoot down Russian warplanes entering NATO territory. Have a listen to this.
So if you were Prime Minister and NATO jets Russian jets entered NATO airspace, where do you stand on that? Do you think they should be...
Got to shoot them down.
No questions. Whatever that does, however much that inflames tensions.
Listen, love, you're trying
Russia needs to be taught a lesson.
Listen, love, you're trying ever so hard. I'm the only person in the world, I think, that stood up in the European Parliament in 2014. And do you know what I said? There will be a war in Ukraine. It's coming. I'm the only person that got it right.
So if you...
Okay, so let's leave aside from listen, love, a very patronising tone there. But anyway, what did Nigel Farage say back in 2014? Well, let's have a listen ourselves.
The next speaker will be Honourable Farage, EFDR. 2 minutes.
Amongst the long list of foreign policy failures and contradictions in the last few years, including, of course, the bombing of Libya, the desire to arm the rebels in Syria, has been the unnecessary provocation of Vladimir Putin. This EU empire, ever seeking to expand, stated its territorial claim on the Ukraine some years ago. Just to make that worse, of course, some NATO members said they too would like the Ukraine to join NATO. We directly encouraged the uprising in the Ukraine that led to the toppling of the President Yanukovych, and that led, of course, in turn to Vladimir Putin reacting. And the moral of the story is, if you poke the Russian bear with a stick, don't be surprised when he reacts. Now, just to continue with that, today we are rushing through an association agreement at undue speed with the Ukraine, and as we speak, there are NATO soldiers engaged in military exercises in the Ukraine. Have we taken leave of our senses? Do we actually want to have a war with Putin? Because if we do, we're certainly going about it the right way.
So Prime Minister Nigel Farage would shoot down military airplanes from Russia if they entered NATO territory. But Nigel Farage, leader of UKIP in 2014 here, is blaming the European Union and NATO for provoking Putin. Just let that marinate in your mind for a moment. You know, it's the EU's fault that Putin invaded Crimea. And this speech that he gave took place just months after Putin's invasion of Crimea and annexation of Crimea. So it's NATO's fault that Putin decided to go to war with Ukraine. This was in 2014, the annexation of Crimea. And it's the EU's fault because the EU said to Ukraine, yeah, if you want to join, you're free. So Ukraine's sovereignty means nothing to Nigel Farage. A sovereign nation who decides we would like to be part of NATO, no, that's provoking our friend Vladimir Putin. Ukraine would like to be part of the European Union, no, that's provoking our friend Vladimir Putin. Putin must not be provoked. Putin's feelings are more important than Ukrainian sovereignty. From the guy who said we need to leave the European Union in order to get our sovereignty back. So sovereignty only exists when? When Vladimir Putin decides it exists, or when Nigel Farage decides when it exists. This guy is dangerous. This guy should be nowhere near the levers of power. And unfortunately, it's looking more and more likely, hopefully this doesn't happen, but it's looking more and more likely that he will become Prime Minister one day. He's not on the side of British people. He has demonstrated that on I don't know how many occasions. He's now jumping on board a bandwagon, probably because Donald Trump is no longer cozying up to Putin. Maybe Putin is running out of road, and Trump understands this, and he's moving on. So as Trump is moving on, maybe Farage is moving on too. Or Farage is reading the room and realizing actually pandering to Putin, trying to justify his illegal war, is not really hitting home anymore. I have to move to the center. Maybe I have to move away from this position where we pander to a dictator. So there's Nigel Farage for you. In 2014 saying, we are the problem, the European Union is the problem, NATO is the problem, not Putin. And now today saying, well, if Putin were to fly planes into NATO territory, they should be shot down. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. I'll see you in the next video.